Sorry, where are we going?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, were we? I didn't realize we were going. I'm so sorry. I was like looking down. I wasn't even looking up.
It's finally Sarah.
No, it's fine. We'll just keep it. What's up, y'all? It's Sarah Kate here at Billy Scott Real Estate. We're getting more real and raw around here. They just went and didn't even say anything. I was talking too much. It's fine. What up, Billy?
How you doing?
I'm great.
Whew.
Billy left me for like over a week. I don't even know how many days it was. I lost count.
Yeah, I think we're on.
I think it was like over
today was day 10.
Yeah. And so I gave Billy a little taste of what it felt like yesterday. I was gone for a day. I actually took a day off. It's crazy.
Don't let her make it sound so bad. She works Monday through Friday. She took a weekday off.
I took a weekday off, okay?
I'm not a slave driver.
But you actually haven't posted about it yet. How was Kyla's show?
Kyla's show was great.
Yeah.
Went over to Madras to the PI. So she got to show her heifer like 6 or 7 times.
That's cool.
And then she showed, or maybe it was 5 times. And then she showed her steer as well. So yeah, getting more practice in the ring, getting the cows used to interaction with people and interaction with the other animals.
Yeah.
Those calves do not like the goats or the lambs.
Really?
No. They're just skittish of them. It's like, what is that thing? You got
I didn't know
1,300-pound calves and then these little 100-pound goats, and they're just like, get that out of here. Get that out of here.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
But no, it's good. We got a new camp trailer, so we stayed in the camp trailer for the first time, and my wife pulled the cattle trailer over with the calves, and then I pulled the camp trailer over. So no, it's a good trip. So we enjoyed ourselves and got to hang around good people, and kids that were showing all over the Northwest were there.
That's amazing.
So
yeah. How many kids total?
I don't know the head count. I would imagine 100 to 150, give or take, based on what they were showing.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I don't have the exact data on it, but
I was just curious. It's like smaller, bigger. What was it? Yeah.
Right.
That's awesome. Yeah. And then you were down working on the ranch before that.
Right. No, my buddies, they have a family century farm down there that's like back from 1854, I believe.
So crazy.
It's the original Dement Ranch, Sam Dement.
Wow.
And it's the D-Dot brand.
I don't know what that is.
The oldest brand in the state of Oregon.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's pretty dang cool.
Yeah.
So got to go there and help out, fixing fence and helping rebuild, different corrals and different things, and just getting stuff ready for, spring roundup where they bring in all the calves. And, some of them are getting castrated, some of them are, all of them are getting branded and just ran through and getting ready. So it was fun. It's just everybody goes down there and volunteers their time, and we eat good. Did
you have Rocky Mountain oysters?
The last night. Yeah, we had I think there was 14 steers went through the day that I left. So we had a couple pan fries of Rocky Mountain oysters. Oh my goodness, they're so good.
Yeah.
They're so good.
So gross.
Yep.
Scott's like, what?
Rocky Mountain oyster. When you're castrating steers, you pull the nuts down and then you cut them off and you throw them in a jug and you haul them up and wash them up and split them open, and next thing you know, you cook them up and it's a snack.
Yeah, I know. You can pay me enough to do that.
I wish we could give footage
I
of
know.
that.
Scott's looking at me like, what's going on?
Yep. That was good.
Well, I'm glad you're able to go do it, and you do it once a year, and
right.
You're still working while you're there, but it's like,
it's a little bit of work. You try to work in the morning, then everybody goes out. And unfortunately, like the first morning, I had too much work to do where I worked until the guys got back at lunch.
Yeah.
They're like, imagine that. You make time to slow down work so you got time to eat. Old porker chopper over here.
You're like, oh, there's lunch.
Yeah. So, but no, it's good. Like we were working on deals with clients. Like work still has to be done. So even though I get to go on a ranch and go play for a couple days, it's still like work has to be done.
Yeah.
So it's finding that balance of I got to go down there and play for a couple days where really you're working.
Yeah.
but you're working for food and good one-liners.
Well, it's so funny. I know we've had a couple people like comment like, oh, do you guys actually work or whatever? But it's so funny because it's like, well, in the industry, it's like you're actually kind of always working in a sense, but it's like when we were traveling for training, it's like, yeah, we like closed on like, what was it, 3 or 4 properties while we were in Washington at training. So it's like, you're still working in between stuff. Like we're there training and multitasking. Not that we're trying to do better about that, but it's like the work's still going. Yeah. Even like we literally, if we needed to go to trainings or go do things when there wasn't work, we'd never go do anything else. So it's like, that's just, I think everybody kind of wants that. Like, oh, the ability to go work wherever I am. Like I could just, but like, it's nice, but it also is not nice. Yeah. Because you don't just get to check out. Like we're working toward that for you to be able to have the support so that like I can handle more things so that you can check out more. Right. Which is always the goal, but yeah, I don't know.
But it's still, I mean, the work-life balance is a challenge. Yeah. And, I came up from 18 years working in construction and I worked at Manel Farms and Schnards before that for a couple of years. So it's just like, I've always worked construction labor jobs for the most part. Yeah. But it was just, you work long hours, you work overtime daily, you work it weekly, and it's the way it was. Yeah. And so I treat real estate the same way, but I'm trying to find that balance of how much is enough. But if there's clients that need my help, how do I find that balance of like, well, it's time to be off work. I can get back to it tomorrow. Nothing's an emergency. Yeah. But also making sure clients know like it's important, it's time sensitive. Right. There's a sense of urgency. Like we never want anything to slip through the cracks. So it's always on high alert, but also how do you check out to recharge your batteries? But I don't know, something about it. I think it's a rush.
Yep. You're all over it.
Well, we're trying. It's work in progress.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and I went to the beach yesterday. As you can tell, I'm not super white. I went from white to red, so I don't blend in with the back as much. I'm trying.
Hey, it's Sarah, actually, you said you got pretty wild.
Oh, no.
You got pretty wild this weekend. So give us an update. Tell me what you did with your 3-day weekend and tell us how wild and crazy Sarah Cade got.
Actually, one of the days I literally just laid around, read books, just hung out, like I vibed. But no, I love it. Like, okay, so I'm like an 8 p.m. or like I'm in bed. And then like I usually wake up between 4 and 5. And that's just like I don't know. I've always been that way. Yeah. It's like I have this kind of rhythm, I guess, I get into. Anyway, so I don't like staying up late. I'm not a night owl. You can ask my husband last night. I was like, oh my gosh. He's like, I can tell you stayed up late the night before. He's like, you need to go to bed. He's like, you're just like feisty. I get like really feisty and then I just pass out. I'm just so tired. Anyway, so I text Billy because Billy asked how I was doing or whatever. And I was like, great. I'm like, I was really irresponsible. I Mother's Day, I went and it was like 9:00 at night and I had ice cream with my mom and my little brother. And I was like, I just got new court shoes. And Caleb was like, hey, he's like, I think I'm going to go to the club. And I'm like, in context, not a normal club, a tennis club. Okay.
This is when that rebel's coming out, folks.
My version of a club. And so I'm like, it's like 9:00. And he's like, yeah, I think I'm just going to go hit like whatever. I got districts. I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, you know what? I'm like, I don't got to get up early tomorrow. I'm like, I'm going to the coast. I'm like, let's go. So I run home. I grab my stuff. I'm like, Steven, I'll be home at like 10:30. I was home at like midnight. And I text Billy and like we played till like the lights shut off in the building and like Caleb hit a shot. It was so wild, guys. So wild. And I'm like there and all of a sudden the lights go off. I have no idea. I can't see anything. It is pitch black in there. I was like, oh my gosh, I've never played there that late. I'm so wild.
So a Sunday night.
Yeah. Sunday night, guys.
You went to the tennis club from 9 to 12 p.m.
I went to a club on the Lord's Day, guys.
So her first liquor store at 24 and she hit midnight on Mother's Day. So chalk it up. Club. It's going to be a wild year ahead.
I slept until like 8. The next day.
So my response to her was, we're not the same.
Yeah. But I don't do that anymore. I'm so boring.
Well,
I'm very boring.
you act my age and
you act my age. We're a good team.
Little flipperoo. Love it.
That's why it works.
Well, what do we get to talk about today?
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about renovating. I was thinking about it. So Billy, we've kind of touched on a little bit, but when you guys sold your in-town house to buy acreage, we talked about it a couple episodes ago. You guys actually bought like a tear down to the studs, fix it up, renovate, full thing.
Yep. Construction loan.
Yeah. And so I used to watch like, what was that show on HGTV? Those flipper shows.
Mm-hmm.
There was that one with that guy and that girl down in California. They were husband and wife, and they used to, I don't remember what it was called, but it was something flip.
Right.
And it was amazing. You'd go and of course it's condensed into like 40 minutes, but like they'd buy these houses and they'd go in and they'd flip them and then they'd sell them, make a profit off it. And it's like, wow. And they just keep rolling. But I've always wondered like, okay, what is that experience like though when you didn't do it to make money off of it in the sense of like, we're just going to buy this property, flip it and buy another one.
Yeah.
You guys did it to live in. But I wanted to talk more about like get into the details of specifically financially what that looked like. What were like great things about it that you guys were like, gosh, this was great.
Yeah.
And then things that you were like, oh my gosh, I don't like those moments that are like, is this even worth it kind of thing.
There's a lot of those.
Yeah. And then now living on the property, living in the house, are there things that are like, I would have done this different now that I know how to, what we kind of went through. So I guess like my first kind of question is, was the fixer upper, like buying property and buying a house that needed to be fixed up, always part of your guys' plan? No. Or did it just come about that way? What was your guys' plan? Like if you could have had it the way you wanted it, what would it have been?
So honestly, my wife had always talked about it because she grew up in Junction City and she raised Black Angus cattle with her dad. Mm-hmm. And that was their thing. Mm-hmm. And her dad passed right after she graduated high school at the age of 18. Mm-hmm. And we had just started dating like in July. Mm. I think her dad passed in October. Mm. And it was right around that time where I'd never been really around cattle much. Yeah. I was always raised in town and ended up, it was just something that she had a lot of passion for and always wanted to raise her own herd. Mm. Fast forward, her dad passed away shortly after. They ended up starting to sell off some of their cows. She was moving off to college and, going to school full time, trying to work a full time job. And the cattle market was on the rise where it was like you could sell off the hay in the barn and some of the cows and calves and everything and just be like, they're at the highest price they've been in years kind of thing. And it was like she just had to make that tough decision of driving down to Junction City every day and working in Eugene and going to school up in Albany at LB. And it was a lot and ended up, she's like, this is just too much to take on and do at her age. And she can always buy more cows later. Yeah. And that was kind of the ultimate, like, I want to be able to raise my own beef and have a couple head on my own property and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Well, that was 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. So about 9 years ago when we bought our property at the end of 16, we went under contract in June of 16, finally got in because it was a pre-foreclosure. And the only way to get approved on it was to purchase it as is, but to get financed for the loan, we had to do a construction loan. Mm. So the purchase was like $280,000, something like that. Yeah. For 10 acres or just shy of 10 acres with a house and a barn. Yeah. But the house was just disgusting. It was, the only thing that lived in there for a couple of years was critters. Oh, no. Yeah, and nobody was paying.
What was your thought? Did you get a walkthrough before you guys?
Yeah, we walked through it a couple months prior to that.
What was your thought when you walked through it first?
Light a match.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that bad?
It was like, this is,
Did it even have floors or wall? Like,
yeah, it had floor. It was just disgusting and filthy and not taken care of and just
oh, wow.
left a pigsty. And
Yeah.
I mean, there was locks on the outside of the doors of the bedrooms with locks
Oh my God.
and like scratches from different pets. Like it was like,
Lord. Yeah.
what the heck? And just
Yeah.
the flow was terrible. It was just, oh my gosh. So long story short, we went through it and we're like, nope, this one's out. We kept looking at other properties. Well, we kept getting denied offers on properties, for one, because we had to sell our house.
Right.
And nobody would take our contingency.
Right.
Like contingent upon the sale of our home.
That's where you had to sell the house.
Yep. Sell the house, move into the trailer and just say, screw it. We're committing to this.
Yeah.
We're going to find a home. Something's going to become available. We're going to be a ready, able buyer.
Yeah.
And ended up doing a construction loan and being able to get it financed. And that one was with Brooke Knight with Knight Financial. And we were working with Andrea Beam and her team, Charisse, over there back in the day.
Yeah.
Before, I mean, years ago, you know. Yeah. And, it was just one of those. Andrea was with KW at the time, and she was who I knew in real estate. So we just leaned on her.
She's great.
Because it's that simple. It's you go to those that you trust and you have relationships with.
Yeah.
So
what were you guys looking for? Like, was it just like what amount of acreage? What kind of house?
A few acres to be able to raise some cows, hopefully have a barn.
Yeah.
Like our kids, we wanted to raise 4-H animals, where whether it was hogs or beef, like we knew we wanted that long game. It didn't have to be perfect. We knew we could fix some stuff up, but we'd never done it before. You know, we bought a turnkey house in 06. Like there was nothing to do.
Right.
It was just the upgrades that we did were all because we wanted to add value to our property with Joel. But yeah, it wasn't like we wanted to go find a fixer-upper, but that's the only thing that came available without going off the market with people that had more money.
Gotcha.
And they had more buying power. Like, we just don't have the collateral. We don't have the down payment like everybody else does. Like, we had to do it more affordably on a budget.
Yeah.
So we we have to do a construction loan, and then they go through it. And they came up with about $60,000 in repairs that would needed to be done to the house to make it financeable. And you have 6 months to do it. So you partner with the company, you get all these bids, and we go under contract and we purchase the house. Let's just use round numbers, $280,000, and then factoring $60,000 of repairs, and then like, you know, every month, you know, or every 2-month inspections for progress reports, for dividends to pay some of the contractors for some of the work and the progress they've done. And incrementally, the more work that's done, the more completions are checked off, the more payments they get made to get paid.
Okay.
And then you can keep them working, because if they don't have cash flow, that's the demise.
Yeah.
So by the time it was all said and done, we closed in December, right before the end of the year. The bank finally released it and allowed it to close.
Okay.
And then it was 6 months of general construction stuff, of just fixing the house up, working with some contractors.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, just to clarify, were you paying those construction workers out of pocket or not yet?
So the main stuff that was getting fixed through the loan was all getting done with the contractors that we had agreements and invoices in place.
Okay.
And then we got the loan closed. Okay. But everything we opened up, every wall we opened, every ceiling we opened, it was worse than what we thought.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh my goodness. So we just thought, we can't just fix this partially. Like, we're never going to come back in and do it again. So when you do it, you just got to do it right.
So what did that look like? So you had those guys in there just trying to fix it so that you could get the loan approved. But then as they were doing stuff, it was like, oh my gosh, we just got to do this right.
Yeah.
So you almost had them working on that, but then also doing other stuff that just needed to be done anyway.
That just needed to be done anyways.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What was some of the stuff you were tearing into?
So we did enough to get the loan closed, get it refinanced, you know, for around $340, $350, whatever it ended up being.
Yeah.
And then it's like, holy crap, okay, now it's ours.
Wow.
But now we got so much more work to do, because we're not moved in yet.
No.
We just need to be able to get this house and do it. I mean, we had to replace the roof, replace the siding, the soffits, the fascia boards. It was nothing but dry rot. I mean, the amount of studs, the seal plate was rotten in a lot of, you know, underneath on some of the walls. Like, there was
the foundation.
Foundation was good. We had a couple patches that we had to do, like where we dug out the wood stove. I mean, different openings and just stuff that had to be reinforced. And a lot of the floors got tore up. A lot of all the paneling on the inside walls got tore up. A lot of the old drywall got tore off.
Yeah.
Rooms got resized. Like rooms got moved, doors got moved, walls got
So
moved.
you redid the floor plan.
Oh, the whole floor plan is different.
Really?
Yeah. And I would have never, like when we walked through the house, it was like, just keep it what it is, make do with what you got.
Gotcha.
And then you got a contractor in your ear. You're like, well, for this, I could do this, and we can actually open this up, or we can open that up. And it's like, oh,
yeah.
Well, now it's time to do it. If you're going to do it,
Yeah.
everything's exposed. Let's just do it now.
Yeah.
And then we redid all the plumbing. We redid all the electrical. So like all the electrical ran through all the walls. It was one thing after another. And it's like, if you're going to open it up,
Yeah.
just do it right.
Yeah.
Pull all those nails, pull all the drywall, and just every wall, everything got opened up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll bet there's 5% of that house that didn't.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's almost the equivalent of just building a new house.
Yeah, it would probably been cheaper. Yeah. But we got to customize that whole house. And it was good. Like it was a good journey, but
yeah. What were some of the things that were like really important to you guys? Like in some of the features and stuff?
Well, like big ticket items. If you don't just fix them, they could be a bigger ticket and a bigger burden down the road.
Yeah.
So we had to address it. And I remember one of the things, my wife was just like, one of these days I want to, remodel our kitchen. I'm like, no. We've spent all this money to remodel everything else. Now you want a kitchen.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so we're remodeling the kitchen, right? That's how that works. And actually, I was trying to do it on a budget because we were just running out of money. And remember how we were floating credit cards and doing balance transfers and just trying to let cheaper money get extended farther to be able to pay contractors, and just, we'd never want to owe somebody money. We want to make sure people are paid so they want to work for you.
Right.
And it's like, it don't matter how bad you're drowning. Like you're trying to just do it to keep afloat. It's a one-time sacrifice. And when we got it, we thought, okay, this is a 5-year goal. Let's make sure everything's remodeled and we make this what it is in 5 years. Well, now we got to flash forward at it, and it took us 13 months, but we went broke doing it. And then we did a cash out refi because all the repairs we did and all the upgrades, and we spent an extra couple $100,000.
Wow.
And then you do a cash out refi. The market was on the rise. We got low interest rates. It just made sense. And then we could pay off all the credit cards, things like that, and just be able to be more manageable and lock in a lower rate. I mean, it was a sacrifice we made. It wasn't always the best financial decision.
Right.
But we got creative to make do with what we had.
Yeah.
We don't have mommy and daddy to float us money.
Right.
Like, it's not an option.
Yeah.
So it's like, you just got to do it and make the sacrifice, work more. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But it's like saying that, we just don't have it. It wasn't in the cards. It's like, well, we don't have it, but how are we going to figure out how to do it?
Yeah.
And I would recommend anybody that's living in a camp trailer with your other half and 2 teenage daughters who, don't worry, my daughters never get sassy. Love you, Taylor. And then 2 dogs. We're just so lucky that we actually got to eat most of our meals with the Bavondich family.
Yeah. And
we got a shower in the house instead of in our trailer.
Yeah.
We were trailer living, but it was more or less trailer sleeping.
Right.
And anybody that does not have a solid marriage and wants to live in a trailer and do a remodel, I highly recommend you get that figured out first, or else it will confirm what the exit plan is going to be.
Yeah. How was that for you and Ash? Like making all those decisions. You're still working.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And she's working, right?
Yep.
At that point. Yeah. Kids are in school. So you're both working full time. You're living in a trailer. You've got kids. You're dealing with that, school, all the things.
Yeah.
Taylor was in 4-H at that point or not yet?
Yeah. They were both in 4-H. Yeah.
So you're in 4-H and then money's tight.
Yep. And it's like,
that's like all the things of like just the stress.
Oh, don't worry. When you're short on money, life doesn't get stressful. Right. Yeah.
How did you guys or is there a specific moment or specific things that you guys really focused on so that it brought you guys more together to power through it?
don't know if the scar's still there. No, I'm kidding. I have a very patient wife
Yeah.
and a very understanding wife
She,
where when she gets quiet, sometimes that's more powerful.
yes.
And over time, it's like,
Yep.
all right, I better take a step back and realize like this stuff doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
And everybody's got to have some recharge time.
Yep.
And I'm guilty of it to this day. It's like I think about work 7 days a week. I think about making progress every day. How can I make progress somewhere, somehow, some way?
Yeah.
And it's not always a positive because it's like not every day do you have to make progress towards a task.
Yeah, Steven challenges me on that all the time. Like, it's productive for you to like sit here with me outside and we're hanging out with the dogs. Like, or you're reading or you're whatever, like doing your nails. Like that's productive. And
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not. Like, and we go back and forth about it.
Yeah.
I agree with him. I know what he's saying. But in my mind, like it's so hard for me to wrap my brain around that.
Me too. It's the slow down and like smell the roses.
Yeah.
And just slow down and like leave my phone inside for a couple hours. That's so hard for me. It's just like, but what if somebody reaches out? What if somebody needs an answer? What if they expect a quick response time?
Yeah.
Like what if, if I don't respond to them in a timely manner, like they're going to go somewhere else. Like that's what pays our bills. That's how we make money. Like that's how we live. That's how we get to do things. It's like our slow down.
Yeah. Our challenge in Washington.
Yeah.
I challenged Billy. I was like, all right, let's see how long, what did I say? I was like, how long, or who touches their phone first? Let's see who touches their phone first. We were at training. And Billy goes, okay, loser buys dinner. And I was like, all right, you're going to up the stakes. Obviously, I was fine. I was like, this is great.
Yeah, she could care less. She looked at her phone the whole day. I couldn't sit still.
You were like, it was good for you, but yeah, it was hard. And I know we had work stuff going on, so that didn't help. But yeah, and that is what it is. It's like, there's people that need things or, and it's like, oh my gosh, but it's like, but we pay all this money to be at this training, like, and then we're just on our phone doing stuff. It's like, why are we even here?
Yep.
And so it's like, oh yeah.
I'm guilty of it. And it's like,
hard.
It's one of my biggest challenges of work-life balance.
Yeah.
Of how do I tend to my clients and make sure they know that they're special and they're important and that I will tend to them.
Yeah.
And I hear their needs or requests, but also how do I find time for my family? Because that's what we do it for. Like we do it for our loved ones. We sacrifice for our loved ones. Like we do it so we can get that family time.
Yeah.
So I think that's where I struggle with, my wife's got a couple weeks of vacation a year and I'm like, I want to vacation more. Like I want us to go. I want our toes in the sand. Like I want to go travel more and I want to take Kyle out of school and take Tay and take a little soybean and like, let's go somewhere fun. Like, let's go play. And it's like, well, I don't got vacation time. It's like, well, just take it unpaid. Let's go. That's my recharge. Yeah. And like, I don't recharge enough.
Yeah.
And just slow down and take time of like, hey, I'm going to head home and I'm going to recharge at home.
Yeah.
I'm going to hang with the family. Maybe just stay away from my phone and check it, midday and at night, on the weekend or something, instead of like, it's always at my beck and call.
Yeah.
And it's a struggle because it's like, I expect a lot out of others. So I, in return, feel that others expect a lot out of me.
Right.
And it's like,
and you have high expectations for yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just,
high.
But I need to accept a slowdown really does speed me up. It's
Isn't that weird?
It's hard to wrap our mind around.
The rest. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts on that. Like with your phone, psychologically, what it's doing to you is like those dopamine hits. Like that it feels good.
Yep.
When you get addicted to it. And then when you get so addicted to it and you have to put it down and you have to stop and you have to be present and you have to literally be in the moment.
Yeah.
That's really difficult. I have a hard time with it. Just like I'll like catch myself just scrolling and I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like just, whoa. But like, you don't even think about it.
Yep.
It's like the technology is a gift, but then it's also such a burden.
Yeah.
You know, to like, I believe we were never meant to be contacted like this and have all this stuff at our fingertips with all this information constantly flooding at us.
Yeah.
Like it's so overwhelming. You never allow yourself to rest ever. Like, and what rest really looks like. I mean, rest can look like mowing the lawn, right? Like, but it's you checking out.
Yeah, but I literally put on my headset and I listen to a podcast to get educated.
When I clean the house, like I'm listening to something, I'm doing something. It's like I need something else running on my brain.
Yeah.
And it's just wild. Like, but it's hard to, like, you love what you do.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, but you love who you do it for more.
Yep.
And so finding that balance between, but I got to take time for my family.
Yep.
I love my work. And also in there, I have to find time for me.
Yeah.
And my health and, you know, what's good for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I need to do a better job at.
I didn't say it. We're working toward it. I mean, I told you, it's like a goal for me. Like, cause we all care about typically I think most people care about other people more than themselves.
Yeah.
Right. Cause it feels better and feels selfless to always be helping others.
Yeah.
When you take care of yourself, it's like, it's hard to get over the feeling of like, I never think about it like it's selfish, but it doesn't give that same feeling of like goodness, like when you help
it's not
other
the
people.
instant gratitude, like helping others.
No. But all of a sudden, like, I know, like, when I work out consistently, it's like, and I look back over those couple weeks, I'm like, man, I just, like, I know, like, I was eating healthier, I was sleeping better, I was showing up better.
Yep.
It's like, it's those core foundational things. Like, I wasn't worried as much, didn't have as much anxiety about anything. Like, I felt better.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, you don't feel it or see it in those moments.
Yep.
And that's why you chase what feels good, that instantaneous, which isn't bad, but you need the balance.
Yep. I just need the balance, the work-life balance.
But anyway, I was just curious, like, I just can't even imagine, like, and I know lots of people who've done kind of the same thing that you and Ash did, but navigating that with kids while working full-time jobs, not having a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because how old were you at that point?
What was it, 9 years ago?
Yeah, so you were in with Knife River.
You figure, like,
grinding.
We were, combined, we were making $150K a year.
Yeah.
Where it's not that much money when as fast as it's coming in, it's going out faster than what you're making it.
Yeah.
Like that year to 2 years, we were spending more than we were making.
Yeah.
That's just the reality.
Yeah.
But it was like, we knew it was a sacrifice for the long game. But like when you're talking about, the title of today's topic of buy, cry, renovate, like, it's funny because there's a lot of renovations that don't get completed.
Yeah.
And couples divorce and part ways, or partnerships part ways, and they fall through because they're stressful. They're stressful times. There's a lot of moving parts, a lot at stake. But like, we bought this as the sacrifice towards having a property and having our little sanctuary, our own little oasis where we could throw shindigs and have parties and entertain people and bring out your camp trailers, like come camping, call this your campground for the weekend. Like, that's what we wanted.
Yeah.
And then we ended up with everybody that helped us over that year of just helping come, remodel and just whatever it was, just general labor, helping out in different ways. So many people came and helped, and we couldn't have done it without them. We threw a luau, and that's how our luau started. And overall, it was just like, how do we throw a good shindig? And I always wanted to do a Hawaiian style luau.
Yeah.
And then it was such a good hit, and we just had so much fun. We're like, annual luau, this is what it's at. Like, this is what we're doing. And we just haven't looked back with it.
Yeah.
So I think we've done it 8 years, if I recall.
Pig in the ground.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fun.
So 17 was our first one.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So this will be our 9th year.
Wow.
So pretty wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. But pretty cool. But just what a wild ride, though.
If you could do it differently, are there things that you guys would have done differently?
Yeah. You really got to pencil when you do a remodel. How much is it worth in its current condition? And what is your what if factor?
Did you guys know that going into it or no?
No, we just tried to
Right.
do the best we can with how
Yeah.
can we do it as cheap as possible. But like a lot of flippers, they look at their ARV, their adjusted resale value when it's done,
Okay.
not what the current home is worth.
Mm-hmm.
But let's just say it was $200,000 home. If you need to put 100,000 in repairs, now you're at 300
Right.
plus all your fees, your realtor fees and things like that. Say you're in it, 325, whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go, okay, well, how much profit did you need to make? If they're needing to make 75,000, well, you got to sell this home for 400,000. You got to buy it at 200 to put 100 into it to profit the amount you need.
Mm-hmm.
Where's your what if money?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what if that remodel costs 150 and not 100? Is your home going to be worth 450 because you spent more? That doesn't dictate
Mm-hmm.
your after resale value.
Yeah.
What are all the things that you did to that home to fix it up?
Yeah.
So you've got to have that. You got to have a buffer.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't just bid at best case. You got to bid at worst case. And if it's less, that's a bonus.
Yeah.
So that's something I'm learning about adjusted resale value, just because like we talk about a lot of sellers, like sellers may say, well, I want to put in, I'm going to put in the roof, I'm going to put in the carpet, and I'm going to put in new flooring. It's like the next buyer may not want carpet. Or I'm going to rip all this carpet out and I'm going to put all vinyl plank flooring. Okay. What happens when the next person wants carpet in all the bedrooms?
Yeah.
Well, then why would I do this? Exactly. Like,
yeah.
Remember, you're selling a house. They're buying the home.
Yep.
There's a difference. Like when you're no longer you're looking at it as your home, it's just a house.
Yeah.
How do you make it appealing to the majority of the buyer pool? You're not making it appealing to just your wants or picking out your cabinet colors or whatever it may be. What was trendy 10 years ago, we were big into the grays.
Yeah.
Still are into the grays. But when we
neutrals are coming back around.
Yeah, like creams, light browns and tans.
Yeah, I'm like so into it. It's weird. And you know what's funny about that? Our entire house growing up was tan.
Yeah.
The carpet was tan and the walls were tan. And I hated it. Like even my mom now, she's like, oh, it was just so bland. But that was like the style. Yep. So I was always like, oh. So then gray was like the thing.
Yep.
Like, and so I was like, oh yeah, gray, 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 gray. Our house that we just rented out, but the flooring's all gray, walls are all gray, and I'm like, I hate this. I'm like, I don't like it. It's so cool toned. I'm like, it's so like why? Yeah. And so all of a sudden I've started really liking like tans and browns and stuff, and I'm like, I don't know why, but it's trending again. It's coming back around.
Yep. And I'm still in that gray place.
No, it has this place. Yeah, it does. It does. But it's like still really pretty.
Yeah, jumping back to the kitchen. So I was going to try to save our counter or our cabinets.
Oh, okay.
And I just couldn't get them loose. So I was hitting it with a sledge to try to get the end broke off. Well, then once I broke it off, it just shattered and crumbled.
What were they?
They were old wooden cabinets, but then they had some of that, like press board, some of the cheap stuff, but some of the cabinets had like oak fronts, but cheap press board. It's just
mixed in.
It was a combination of multiple repairs over the years. Well, then I just got to go to town with the sledgehammer and just said, all right, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And my wife just came in more or less with this, I'm getting my kitchen now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, don't worry. We're just going to pick like, some cheap cabinets from Mike's Bargain Center or whatever. She's like, no, we're not.
No, we're not.
No, we're not.
Because the kitchen's like what you use all the time. I mean, it's such the hub for everything.
It's our hangout. Like,
yeah.
When we're not sitting on the couch watching TV in the living room, we're sitting around the island.
Yeah.
And big kitchen space, tons of cabinetry.
Yeah.
And we went with two-tone cabinets. So the upper cabinets are a lighter color than the bottom cabinets.
Okay.
And then our island is actually a darker blue. So really it's 3 cabinet colors. And at first I thought, there's no way. Just pick one dang color and just be done with it.
Yeah.
So we compromised. She got all 3 colors.
She got what she wanted.
But no.
What cabinets did you end up going with?
Actually, all custom built from David Gunther.
Okay.
He lives off Woods Creek Road in Philomath. He does custom cabinetry.
Wow.
Him and his brother, like every square inch of those cabinets is usable space.
No way.
Oh, man. And I'd highly recommend him to anybody. They did the full build, custom build, every single thing, soft close, all of it. The slide out drawers, Like it's just
It's beautiful.
now that we have it, I cannot imagine having cabinets that you have to reach to the back for something
Yeah.
instead of just pulling the drawer out and just
Yep.
reaching it.
Yeah.
So it's like we're spoiled in that sense because we wanted to make it something that we're working towards,
Right.
not just enough.
Yeah.
But
were there other things that like you not skimped on, but lesser of a higher quality to kind of compensate?
we don't like where our bathroom's located because it's right next to the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
But we took out walls, we took out, different rooms to open things up. We really opened up the floor plan. We vaulted the ceilings. So all of that was upgrades where we sacrificed money that couldn't be spent in other areas.
Yeah.
We didn't put on as high a quality paint on the outside of the house.
Mhm.
So we already had to repaint the house.
Mm.
And went with a high quality paint. Like don't cheap out on that.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you use cheap contractors,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you find problems down the road that maybe a more expensive contractor wouldn't have done.
Yeah.
But you live and learn.
So
like
hard to
everybody that made it work for us,
Mm-hmm.
they did it out of sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
But there's certain things that you just pay certified contractors to do higher quality work.
Yeah.
Because some of them are very experienced in it and it could save you money by spending more up front.
Yeah.
But when you're scratching pennies to make it work,
and you have to make so many decisions about so many different things
every day, every single day. When I tell you, we'd go home and Ron was one of the main contractors that kind of just gave us insight the whole way and just coached us along. And Ron was literally the make or break. We could have never done it without him.
Wow.
And he would be like, well, we could do this or this. What do you think? And I'm like, well, I like that. My wife would get home. He'd be like, well, we could do this or this. What do you think? She's like, I can't see it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it.
Mm.
And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, just picture that over there. It's like, no, she just can't see it.
Mm-hmm.
She can't envision it. She's like, I need to see it. Like, well, it's going to be too late when you see it. So like, and she would just look at me and she'd be like, whatever Ron thinks. It's like, love you.
Whatever Ron thinks.
Yeah. We're on the fence. It's like, whatever Ron thinks, go with that. And I'm like, so yeah. So Ron got to do a lot of
him.
Totally.
Yeah.
Because he's just like, hey, we could do this, we could do that. But if you do it later, it's going to cost you a lot more.
Right.
Well, let's just do it now.
Gosh.
So, but yeah, when we talk about like buy, cry, renovate. So people looking at doing construction loans, talk to your lenders about that of like, what's that look like? Is there a cap on how much out of pocket?
Okay.
How much money do they need to bring to the table?
Yeah.
Talk to the lenders about construction loans and what options they got. Because really it's like you get a loan and then it's almost like you refinance it at the end, but every lender has their own programs.
So when you do the construction loan, that's just for the portion that makes it, gets everything approved so that then your
so it's financeable.
Loan is financeable. Yeah.
Yep.
So then you end up having to.
Then you almost refinance at the end of it.
Okay.
Because it's almost like two separate entities.
Yeah.
But every lender's going to be different. So like they have their own in-house programs or whatever. But talk to the lender about the steps with it. But ours was 6 months, $60,000. And then, you refinance out of it. And then, but when you think of the equity that you have once you do those repairs, now you're like, oh my gosh, this was a sacrifice, but now we got this equity.
Yeah.
And now, the more upgrades you do to the home, the more equity that you have.
Yeah.
And then building another big pole barn, things like that. You build equity to your property. And then as the market's on the rise, your property values go up. Like, so it was a great time to do it. And it's a great sacrifice. And I would do it all over again, but something to that extent, how much of an overhaul it was something you don't want to do often. It's you do it because you got your own little oasis when it's all done.
Yeah.
But if you did that every year to just flip a property, I mean, you're going to have a heart attack. Like it's so much stress and so much sacrifice and just because you're working full time and then you're working full time off of work.
Yeah. I was going to ask like how much you and Ash did yourselves.
Yeah.
Like,
it was every weekend and
you're just there.
And I'd take a lot of Fridays or Mondays off, but you know how it is, like in sales, you still got to answer your phone. So you're working from the house, but you're trying to do calls and trying to shoot off emails and shoot off quotes and do different things where, contractors got to the point that they're like, Billy, do you ever work Fridays? And like, do I answer your call every time you call? Yeah. But you're always at home working on the weekends or whatever. It's a sacrifice now for the end game. So I don't have to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. They understand. It's just like, but clients want quick response times. And when they ask for something, they want it in a timely fashion.
Right.
It doesn't matter the industry.
No.
Because I'm impatient.
Yeah. We get it.
I can only imagine.
We get it.
If I call somebody and I don't get an answer, I'm probably calling somebody else.
It's true. If Billy calls you, just answer, okay? Just answer. You're in a world of annoyance if you don't.
And I get it because I'm in meetings or whatever. And it's like, I can't respond and answer everybody. And that's something I learned in sales early on was I want to answer every call.
Yeah.
I found out real quick, it's impossible.
No, it is.
If you're good at what you do in sales, you will not be able to handle every call that comes your way, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
But you can always call everybody back.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you can answer every call,
no.
But you can call everybody back. Yeah. There's a difference.
Yeah.
So it was accepting that I'm not going to be able to answer every call.
Yeah.
And I'll get back to them.
So you closed in December. So you guys were renovating in the winter.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
In the rain. In Oregon.
I remember that one kid that showed up to work. He showed up in white Converse and shorts. Oh. And he was just nothing but mud hole outside. Like the side's off the house. The roof is off. I mean, he had mud up to his knees. And he's just like, well, I guess I just didn't pull your head out.
Didn't think that one through.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But trying to think when we talk about renovating, so think of investors that want to do fix and flips.
Yeah.
This is no different. You would just have a crew that you're hiring out or helping do it in a timely fashion, not working full time and doing it at night and on the weekends and things like that.
Yeah.
But there's different things, there's different investors that we could talk to that sometimes it's 1% a month that they make on their money. So say I borrow $100,000 from a hard money lender.
Yeah.
They want 1% a month. Some of them may only want 0.5% a month, but 1% a month, that's $1,000 a month on $100,000.
Mm-hmm.
Well, people go, well, Billy, that's so cheap. Well, what's 12% a year interest on $100,000? It's $12,000.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's 1,000 a month times 12 months? $12,000.
Mm-hmm.
It's just broken it down more simplistic.
Yeah.
1% a month, do a 4-month minimum.
Mm-hmm.
Say, hey, if I borrow $100,000, I'm going to pay you 4 months minimum at 1%.
Mm-hmm. So
$1,000 a month, $4,000. If I get it done in 3 months, pay you back, great. You still get $4,000.
Yeah.
If I take 8 months, you get $8,000. If it takes 8 months, that means I did not budget for the what ifs enough.
Yeah.
And more what ifs came up on the remodel. Mm-hmm. So I haven't done the fix and flip yet, as in turns and burns, but it's definitely something we're going to be looking into more. We've got a lot of opportunities that come our way with people saying, hey, I just want to get out from under this house. It's a fixer upper. It's non-financeable. We talk to hard money lenders, people that want to get into the business, say, hey, I want my money to make me money. What can you do with it? It's like, well, I can pay you 1% a month, but I need to be able to have a sliding scale. It may be 4 months, it may be 8 months, it may be up to 12 months. Mm-hmm. But say you do a deal and you close it and you fix the house and you flip it in 6 months. You hope that you did well and you paid them on time and you communicated that at the end of that 6 months, you're like, hey, I just bought another fix and flip. Do you want to float another one?
Yeah.
And then it's like, heck yeah. If you keep paying the monthly bill, I keep making money.
Yeah.
Let's keep doing this. Mm-hmm. And that's how hard money lenders start partnering with the right people that do them good and do what they say they're going to do. And then the money just starts, your opportunities of how much you can borrow grows.
Wow.
So that's something that I want to start getting into more.
Yeah.
Whether I'm on the borrowing side or I'm project managing it and kind of toying with getting into that. But it's too big of an industry that we deal with for our clients already to not be more knowledgeable and be active in. Yeah. Because there's people that, there's another way that you can turn and burn. Like say you buy a primary residence, you live in it 2 years. You sell it at 2 years and 1 day and you turn around and you upgrade that primary residence into a new one. and you live in it 2 years. You're not paying capital gains because you lived in it 2 years.
Right.
And you do that for 10 years. Every 2 years, you're selling the one and rolling your equity into another, and rolling it into another. And by the end of that 10 years, you could be sitting on some serious equity. But people go, well, that's inconvenient to have to move every 2 years. Well, it's a sacrifice.
It is. Yeah.
That you
It's a way of doing it.
That you do 5 times.
Yeah.
Over 10 years.
Yeah.
Factor it in to paying for it to be done.
Yeah. I know people who did that.
And at the end of that 10 years, ask them if they regret the sacrifice.
Yeah.
Because of what they did to financially put themselves in a nice equity position, or they own their home outright now because they've built enough equity and paid it off and rolled that into their business. There's just different advantages to fixing and flipping or living in them, or just buying them cheap, fixing them up to turn around and selling them. There's different strategies to it.
Many.
So buy, cry, renovate. I think cry is a part of every one of those. It's, you got to buy at the right price for the what ifs that come up.
Yeah.
But
well, I appreciate you sharing your insight on it, because I know a family who did that, where like they would buy a house and then they'd, fix it up, whatever, live there a few years, sell it, move to the next.
Yep.
And yeah, they loved it. But it was so interesting because there was never like, it wasn't like, oh, yep, this is like the best thing to do ever. Like, but it was like this kind of pro and con thing of like, yeah, like we loved it, but also like it was hard to do with kids.
Yep.
It was hard to keep moving all the time. It was a lot of like, your foundation of your life support really, right, is your home. And so when you're constantly changing it, it is difficult.
Yeah.
But I just think it's cool that you guys like were able to get the property that you were wanting for the lifestyle you guys wanted to live.
Yeah.
Came about very different than I think you guys were anticipating.
Yeah. And I guess to circle back, like when you said, did you think of this? Like, was this your goal all along? Our goal was to just be able to have a couple acres that our kids could raise 4-H animals and stop raising them at somebody else's farm.
Yeah.
So that they got to experience the farm life. And I've said it multiple times, like, we knew this was going to change our kids' lives of raising farm animals. Yeah. And they eat before we eat. It changed our lives way more than I ever expected. Like, I never lived the farm life. I never raised animals besides raising a hog out of the Janzas for a couple of years, like, and you visit the hog once a week or whatever it may be. That's not living and breathing your 4-H project. Like, my kids would go do their homework in their pig pen or out in the barn to build that bond with their animal. And it wasn't like, you got 20 minutes, clean the pen, let's go, hurry. Like, we got things to do. It's like, no, we're home.
Yeah.
You got all night.
Yeah.
Good luck. And the bond that my kids have with animals is unreal. Like, I wouldn't change that for the world.
Yeah.
So
it reminds me like so much. My dad used to talk about that. They had a couple acres up in North Albany, and yeah, it was always like you got home from school and it was like, you go do your chores. I don't know if they did 4-H. I don't think they did, but it was like, nah, like, you're hungry, too bad. Like, you gotta go do your chores. You gotta take care of those animals. Like, we got things to do before.
I didn't get the memo, but
a little different when you're the parent.
Tell me when they're fed.
You're sneaking snacks as they're like, Dad, I'm hungry.
Yep.
That's so sweet. Well, I appreciate you sharing, and I think it's fun for people to hear about it, because, like, I think the first time I came out to your guys' property, let's see, I started in May, so yeah, it was luau.
Yeah.
Was June. That was just like a month later. And it's like, oh man, like, it's so beautiful. Like, just it's amazing property.
Thank you.
You have no idea what went on, right? Just coming at, like, not knowing anything, not really knowing what had happened with you guys buying it and everything. Like, I didn't know that story yet.
Yeah.
And so coming out there, it's like, wow, this is so cool. Like, this would be so cool to have something like this one day. But then hearing all of like I think he told me a story about like you guys trenching in the rain, right? And like, and it.
Oh, my wife, literally, we should have blasted it on the screen. So this is this is an OSHA story.
Oh, no.
My buddy Mikey's in the excavator.
Okay.
I'm holding a 2x4, pushing it up so the excavator boom doesn't hit the electrical. And my wife is standing on the conduit pipe that's flooded out in a 4-foot deep trench because we got mass flooding and filled all the trenches.
Yep.
And all the pipe is starting to float.
Yep.
And she's standing down while we're holding up electrical, and she's in waders. And it's just like, oh my God, this is what we're doing right now. Like,
was that one of those like what have we done moments?
Yeah. Yeah. And it was like, not many wives would be stuck in that trench.
Oh my God.
Holding down conduit pipe as we're holding up the electrical. Like, it was like, yeah, we should probably not do this, but you ready? Let's go.
Ready? We gotta do it. Gonna roll the dice.
Somebody hit play, because we're gonna want this.
No, I didn't see all that when I came out to the property. I was just like, this is so beautiful. Like,
Well, and remember how I told you we turned down the house and we just kept looking?
Yeah.
And then the house did a big price drop like a month later.
Yeah.
Maybe 6 weeks later, and we're like, you said for the right price. I mean, we could probably justify it.
Yeah.
And it went from like $335 to $280.
Wow.
And it was like, we went back out there and we're just like, this is so much work. Like,
because also the property itself.
Yeah, it was just
a lot
grown over. Like, I mean, it doesn't even look the same.
Like was it just blackberries and stuff?
All over.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
The driveway was coming out front. You backed out of your driveway onto the main blind corner on the gravel road. It was terrible.
Crazy.
So it's like, well, I guess like we're tired of shopping.
Yeah.
I guess we just try to pay full price, do a construction loan, do what we can.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, we look at it now and it's like over that couple of years, we spent more than if we would have just custom built it.
Right.
But also we did custom build it in a sense. Like, we tore it down to the bones and made it our own. And it's special to us. Like, and it's way more than we ever envisioned. Like, we weren't thinking big enough.
Yeah.
But we kept thinking, fix it right because you will not do it twice.
Yeah.
And everything that we ran into cost us more than we planned. And we fixed it better than what we thought we were originally going to do. So like when you say, I got house plans, it'll be done at this time. Every day something changed on our plans. Every day. Every day we step foot on the property. Hey, we ran into this. Do you want to do this or this? It's like, oh, well, now's the time. Now's the time got real old. It just, now's the time. Might as well do it now. Hopefully we can get more credit. Like, so it wasn't like just glamorous.
No, not at all.
The sacrifice, it wouldn't be for everybody.
No.
But we love it. Like, we don't see neighbors. We don't hear neighbors.
Yeah.
Unless somebody's shooting something.
Or having a party.
Yeah, or having a party.
Yeah.
So now it's cool.
Well, they probably hear you.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah. But
yeah.
So
well, I think we're at a good stopping point for it.
Okay.
Was there anything else that you would advise others on if they're looking at, man, we want to buy property, we want to move out of town, we're not opposed to renovating? What's like one piece of advice that you would be like, just make sure of this?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think each property is going to have its own variables. No matter how much money you save to prepare for this, you'll need more.
Yeah.
So just accept that.
Yeah.
Even if you say, well, I've saved 20 grand, like, you'll need more.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you've saved 100 grand. You'll use more. Like, things will come up. You will always use more than what you thought, generally speaking. So, like, when you think, oh, it's all right, we got a little bit saved up, we can go spend more money over here. If you truly want to make that sacrifice, save it.
Yeah.
Because it will go away faster than you can imagine. Yeah. It went out the door so fast. And even faster and faster. It just kept going out. And it was like, how do people do this?
Yeah. Yeah.
How do people do this on a budget?
Yeah.
And making 150 grand, between the two of us, that was making a good living.
That's a good living. Yeah.
And it's like, and it just outran us.
Yeah.
So it's just, you got to mentally know that it's the long game.
Yeah.
And it's the short-term sacrifice.
Yeah.
For the big-term gain, long-term gain. Yeah. Like, but don't lose focus on why you're doing it. Because ours was to raise 4-H animals. and it's been the best dang thing. I'm such an advocate for the 4-H and FFA program. Like it changes people's lives and not just kids.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I would say. And like anybody that's thinking about buying a fixer and flipper or like thinking about investing and they have money that they want to do that, get a hold of us, because even if it's just a conversation to kind of talk about of what it would look like and what properties you're
Connect
eyeballing.
you with the right lender or whatever. Like, yeah.
Whether it's lenders or hard money lenders or just wanting to invest money to go, hey, I want my money to make money and I don't want to do anything about it. Great. There's programs for that. Like there's options. So get a hold of us. Let us know. Sometimes properties come up and I get on the phone and say, hey, we got a property that might be something right in line with what you want to do with a flip.
Yeah.
Do you want to invest in this?
Yeah.
Sometimes you could be a silent investor. So you got lots of options. So get a hold of us. Let us know. I'd love to chat more about it. So.
Yeah. Yeah, Billy's information is everywhere. If you're missing it, you're not looking in the right places. It's everywhere. All right, we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.
See ya.